Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I'm the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen, before we get into the meat and potatoes, I got to let y'all know, man, that the time is running out to be able to get your Hurt season merchandise before Christmas. So what you want to do for real, man, order before midnight tonight. If you want to ensure, if you want to guarantee that you get your product before Christmas, it should come before Christmas Eve for real, before the game, you know what I mean, on the 24th, if you order before midnight tonight. Now, that doesn't disqualify you if you're unable to order before midnight tonight. You still have some opportunity over the course of the weekend, but if you want to be safe, I would definitely order before midnight tonight. And if you have to take advantage of the express shipping, especially if you're on the West Coast, please do that as well, man. And also, you guys, you could DM me for a code on any savings and pertaining to, the Hurt season merchandise, man. So let's get into the meat and potatoes, man. It's been a lot of talk about the MVP race. A lot of talk about, what qualifies or what signifies a guy to be eligible for the award. It's just ironic to me that when Jalen Hurts was talked about being an MVP candidate, a lot of people, while he's being talked about it being an MVP candidate right now, a lot of people are saying his system, his team is this, that, and the third, is all of these other things. Nobody did that when Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate for the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz also had a really good team around him, and it's proven out to be the case for Carson Wentz that when he was going through his MVP caliber season, that, the supporting cast was really the reason why. Carson Wentz has never been able to duplicate a season of that magnitude. You know what I mean? Who has Carson Wentz been responsible for making better since his MVP campaign or even during his MVP campaign? You can't find it, man. You cannot find it. Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, has, in my opinion, been responsible for making a lot of people better on the team, and he's been responsible for making the team better as a whole. Think about it like this. A.J. Brown is slated to have a career year in receptions, receiving touchdowns, and receiving yards. Who's his quarterback? Jalen Hurts. Devontae Smith is duplicating what he did last year. Probably he's going to be better in that regard. Who's this quarterback? Jalen Hurts. Miles Sanders broke 1,000 yards this season on the offense. Who's his quarterback? Jalen Hurts. Dallas Goedert has become one of the most feared tight ends in the game this season. Who's his quarterback? Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts' style of play and the way that Jalen Hurts approaches the game has been, there's no way you can fake it, man. People are eating on this team, and Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. And also Jalen Hurts is eating. Think about it like this for a second. Who can come in and do what Jalen Hurts is doing? Nobody. There's only been one quarterback in NFL history with multiple 10 rushing touchdown seasons in consecutive years, and that's Jalen Hurts. Nobody has done that before. Who could come in and throw for 3,000 passing yards, close to 4,000 it'll end up being, have a touchdown interception ratio of 22-3. You know what I'm saying? And have 10 rushing touchdowns and damn near 700 rushing yards. Who in the NFL can do that? Who can you plug in right now that can do that? Some people will say Lamar Jackson. Some people will say Cam Newton. Cam Newton can't do that. We know Cam Newton is past that point in his career. Your best bet would probably be Lamar Jackson. And I don't think Lamar Jackson's touchdown interception ratio will be that impressive of Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? Hear what Joy got to say about the categories that Jalen Hurts is leading in.
The Philadelphia Eagles, 12-1, and Jalen Hurts is the engine that's making that go. Now, if you disagree with that, which Micah clearly does, and he said, can you say right before that defensive clip, the statement he makes right before he talks about the Philadelphia defense is, can you say that if he's not leading statistically or showing any top 5 categories, is that an MVP? Jalen Hurts is first in passer rating, 4th in completion percentage, tied for 5th in passing touchdowns, 1st in interceptions with 3, 1st in touchdown interception ratio, tied for 4th with 20-plus yard passing plays. He is 1st amongst quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns. He's 3rd in total rushing yards amongst quarterbacks with 686 yards. He's also 3rd in rushing yards per game amongst quarterbacks with 52.8 yards per game. So that is quite a few top 5 categories. So if you don't feel Jalen Hurts is like that, that's fine. Objectively incorrect, even by the standards that you are lining up for the MVP.
You heard the categories. Not only is Jalen Hurts impressive from the pocket, top 5 in every category, but he's running the ball well as a running quarterback. He's getting guys involved. The guys are eating and feasting, having career years under his watch. So this whole notion that it's the system and it's not Jalen Hurts, let's start to debunk that. Let's look at some of the MVPs of past. You know what I mean? And let's see if those guys had good supporting cast as well. Because I just find it hard to believe that now all of a sudden that Jalen Hurts is being mentioned in MVP races is due to the supporting cast. Well, almost every quarterback that won MVP had a great supporting cast. Let's go back to the 2021 season. Aaron Rodgers, he had Devontae Adams, man. Enough. Listen, we ain't even got to say much past that. Now, the team wasn't that impressive to me last year, the Packers team. I will admit that. But Devontae Adams is doing what he did with Aaron Rodgers with Derek Carr. He's doing the same thing. And Aaron Rodgers seems to be struggling without Devontae Adams. So that lets you know how important that one part of his supporting cast was for him. 2022, he had Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers won MVP. I'm sorry, in 2020, Aaron Rodgers had Devontae Adams and 4 All-Pro players. Devontae Adams, I think, had 18 receiving touchdowns that year. And I think 1,800 receiving yards. It was crazy. Devontae Adams was having an MVP season in his own right. Add that with the 4 All-Pro players. But I think Bakhtiari, some guys on the offensive line. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers had a supporting cast in 2020 as well. 2019, Lamar Jackson won the MVP. They had a league-high 12 Pro Bowlers on that roster. Enough said. What a great supporting cast. 2018, Patrick Mahomes won the MVP. They had 6 Pro Bowlers, 2 receivers with 1,300 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill had 1,300. Travis Kelce had 1,300. They both had 10 touchdowns. Come on, man. 2017, Tom Brady won the MVP. 2,000-yard receivers and a first ballot Hall of Fame tight end in Gronkowski. You know what I mean? And Brandon Cooks was a 1,000-yard receiver as well on that 2017 team. And let's think about this. Brandon Cooks has done that before with a lot of other people. Brandon Cooks has great stats of putting up 1,000-yard seasons. It's not just a fluke because he played with Tom Brady. 2016, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones had 1,400 receiving yards. They also had a 1,000-yard rusher. 2015, Cam Newton. They sent a league high. They went 15-1 that year. They sent a franchise record, in Pro Bowlers that season in 2015 with 10 guys going to the Pro Bowl, and they had a top 5 defense. 2014, again, Aaron Rodgers, 7 Pro Bowlers on that roster. 2013, Peyton Manning with the Denver Broncos, 4 All-Pros. 4 All-Pros. 2012, Adrian Peterson. I mean, you kind of got to give it to AP. When a running back wins MVP, he's putting up astronomical numbers. So this is not really about the running backs that's won it in the past, like AP and LaDainian Tomlinson. They have had record-breaking seasons for real. You know what I mean? If Lamar Jackson doesn't win in that year, then Christian McCaffrey probably wins it. He had 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. I think that's the first time that ever happened. That was MVP level type of stuff. The point I'm trying to make is nobody wins MVP alone. Nobody's sitting here trying to say that Jalen Hurts is the MVP because he doesn't have a good team. What we're trying to tell you is that everybody has a good team that wins MVP. It's the facts of the matter. We just went down the list of the last almost 10 years of the quarterbacks that won it, and they all had great supporting casts. Jalen Hurts is no different. But let's also keep in mind what people said in the beginning of the season about Jalen Hurts. When you start looking at all the weapons that he was getting offensively, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders, the offensive line being intact, all this stuff. When you start looking at all the things that he was coming into as a quarterback in that season, a lot of people said that Jalen Hurts had no excuses. But it's ironic to me that people are making excuses for his success now. You can't tell me on one hand that Jalen Hurts has no excuses, but then on the other hand tell me, oh, he got too much firepower now. That's why he's winning the MVP. You got to give credit to a player when he's balling. That's nasty work. To be top 5 in every passing category, first in the NFL in completion percentage. What that got to do with the weapons? He's still the one that got to throw the ball and make the correct reads. They try to lie to us and throw the wool over our eyes. He's a one-read quarterback. It's the RPO. Why he top 5 in passes over 25 yards then? Why is he top 5 in air yards of passes over 25 yards or longer? Why? He just sees A.J. Brown and throw it up. Come on, man. They make all the excuses in the world for this man's success. I'm here to tell you right now, I would not cap about this. Jalen Hurts is the MVP. Just like if Carson Wentz didn't get hurt in 2017, he probably was deserving the MVP. But look at Carson Wentz's numbers. Wasn't going to have a 4,000 passing yard season most likely, but he did have 30-something touchdown passes. Nobody was complaining about the stats or lack thereof when Carson Wentz was in the running. Look at the supporting cast that the Dallas Cowboys had last year. Historical season. Nobody complained about that. Well, Dak wasn't mentioned, you know what I mean, and MVP and being an MVP guy that season. But look at system quarterbacks, man. Understand what a real system quarterback is. Now, I'm not going to ruffle no feathers and say Dak Prescott is a system quarterback. But we did have a guy named Cooper Rush who stepped in for Dak Prescott in that same system, who only started one game prior to doing that and went 4-1 and beat some pretty good damn teams in the process of that. You can't plug and play nobody in Jalen Hurts' position and go on the type of run that the Philadelphia Eagles win on. You got to find somebody that can understand the game to the way he does. You got to find somebody with his skill set. Those type of guys just don't grow on trees, which is why the Chicago Bears is trying to turn Justin Fields into their best version of Jalen Hurts. So am I a little on edge, or I'm a little uptight about guys trying to basically denounce the work that this dude put in to get better? Absolutely. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's corny. And it's not about Micah Parsons, because it's not just Micah Parsons who's doing this. Look at the win that Purdy got. You know what I mean? Brock Purdy had a real good win last night, Thursday Night Football. They talking about Brock Purdy going to win a Super Bowl now. Brock Purdy is a system quarterback. He stepped into something that was already working and didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Steve Kerr is a system coach. Them guys, those Hall of Fame players were already on the roster. He just had to step in. It's a difference. It's levels. You cannot tell me that just anybody can step in and do what Jalen Hurts is doing. It won't work. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man.